Good evening. I am Janet Anderson. I call to order the Town of Lewisboro Planning Board meeting for Tuesday, September 16th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. So for everyone here, the exit is the way you came in. These exits on my left are for emergency use only. In order to comply with the open meetings law, we must meet in person. And at this facility, we don't have the capacity for the public to attend by Zoom, nor can we stream our meeting to YouTube, but we will post an audio recording of this meeting to the town website. And materials considered at this meeting are available in the agenda packet, which is posted for the meeting on the town website. Members of the public can always express their views by mail or email to planning@lewisborony.gov. Kirsten Conrad, our Planning Board Administrator, has confirmed that the meeting has been duly noticed and legal notice requirements fulfilled. Joining me tonight from the Town of Lewisboro are members of the Planning Board, Paul Fusco, John Guzmano, Charlene Delicato, and Bruce Thompson. We do have a quorum, and thus we can conduct the business of the board and vote on any matters that come before us. We also have Jan Johannesson from KSCJ Consulting. Council Judd Siebert is here from Keenan Bean. Planning Board Administrator Kirsten Conrad, Building Inspector Kevin Kelly, and CAC Co-Chair Sally Frank. So with that, let's get started. The first item on the agenda was an extension of time request for the Kenny residents at 40 Old Pond Road, South Salem, New York. They asked for an adjournment until October, so we will deal with that matter at that time. The next item on the agenda is a site visit report. This is calendar number 19-25WP, calendar number 10-25SW. The Griffins and Tab residence, 63 Lakeshore Drive, South Salem, New York. So I do have a site visit report that, and then John and Sally can add if they want to say anything. So this was at 63 Lakeshore Drive on September 13th, 2025. The attendees from the planning board were, in addition to myself, John Guzmano, and from the CAC, Sally Frank and Liz Kennedy. So we met at the house and we looked across the yard from towards the lake from the porch and saw the slope. We then walked to the side of the house and saw that the garage extends beyond the house footprint. The homeowners explained that the garage will be demolished and rebuilt to be within the side yard setback, which is about 2 feet in from its current position. Then the main body of the house would be extended out to the north in line with the new garage edge. And the air handling units, which are now sort of tucked in that corner, will be moved out closer to the neighbor to the north. We walked the yard near the lake where the infiltration will occur and saw that the elevation appears higher in the area where the infiltration is going to be, and a steeper drop to the lake. So we kind of eyeballed the elevation of the infiltration compared to the lake levels. And that might be something that we should look at a little more closely because the lake, as John mentioned, the lake can rise pretty high.
Yeah, but when the lake level goes up to the wall edge, so whatever the seepage and the depth of those infiltrators are, as long as it's above that. Right. But that needs to be checked.
And the other thing, I guess, with the air handling units, I think they're going to be actually on the house, but I don't know whether they're going to now be in the side yard setback and if that's okay or not. So, I mean, we didn't talk about that on the site, but now that I'm here, I'm going to mention that. We then walked up the side yard towards the road and noticed the location of the septic fields and tank, that there's no plan to have any building on that area. I think John pointed this out. The neighbor across the street has a viewscape towards the lake, but it really goes down the driveway and over the lawn area that is septic fields, and there won't be any building there, so it won't disrupt the view. The driveway is currently gravel. The homeowners say it will remain gravel. I believe that's in accord with the plans as well. And the house is shielded from the road by vegetation. The homeowners intend to maintain that screening and plan to relocate a large rhododendron up to the front again. So they're really trying to keep the screening of the house. So that was that. I don't know if anybody wants to add anything. It was not as steep as some of the areas around Truesdale that we've seen before, which was made this seem a lot easier to actually get done.
They were, I will compliment them on, they did their homework and they knew the subjects, the areas that can cause problems between any number of issues. They've avoided those. The plan for the house is mostly internal within the footprint and the addition they're putting in. I think they did a good job and they did their homework.
So they did expect to, they said they would expect to get a new submission in and we would see it next month, but nothing more to discuss this month. Anybody else have any comments? I should add that Bruce was not able to join us on Saturday and went today and saw it.
And same things that you've already reviewed, so
Great.
no need to go into. Yep,
Thank you.
I agree.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a request for subdivision bond reduction and referral to the town board. This is calendar number 8-02 PB, JVG Estates, which was formerly the Popoli subdivision on at 1437 Route 35, South Salem, New York. This is a request for the performance bond reduction and referral to the town board.
Good evening.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
I'm the developer and former owner of the development there. So we are totally proud to say that we're completed. We put the top coat on the road, and that was a nice item to achieve that.
Great,
Just
thank you.
give your name for the record.
Vito Di Matteo.
Thank you.
Okay, so the code has changed.
Yes, fortunately.
So this used to be something that we had to send to the town board and then get back, and then we would deal with it. But now, I guess first I should ask Jan, you're aware of the top coat? And
Yes, we've been inspecting the project throughout construction, and we inspected this subdivision after the top coat was installed a few weeks ago. So very happy with the installation. Everything's in good shape.
Okay, so you agree we can move forward. So as I understand it, the next thing that we do is schedule a public hearing on the bond reduction.
Right.
And we ask for a resolution to be prepared, assuming that the public hearing goes well.
That's correct. So as opposed to the old procedure where you would send it up to the town board,
Send it back.
they conduct the public hearing, and you come back. Now it's for this board to conduct the public hearing and then make its recommendation to the town board, which ultimately makes the decision. But we will need a public hearing scheduled for October and a resolution.
Right. And so it's really, our recommendation is in the form of a resolution.
Correct.
And that will be what we send to the town board.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the new process. Does anybody have any questions or concerns with that? Okay. I guess the only question I had was there was some discussion about whether this is a full bond release or whether we keep like 10% or
I
something?
just have to look back at the language in the code and the resolution to see if there's a 10% requirement.
Retainage, right.
Retainage for a year. Have to look at that.
There is a 10% retainage?
I have to check.
Oh, you have to check, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but you'll figure that out before the resolution's written. Okay, so that's where we are. Good?
Okay.
Public hearing and resolution, and then you should be
Yep.
good to go.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we'll see you next month.
Okay. Have a good
Okay,
night.
good night. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the wetland permit review for calendar number 21-25WP. This is the Cowell and Sarah residence at 34 Old Pond Road in South Salem, New York. This is an application to replace a one-story garage with a two-story car garage with office and powder room above. So the first thing I want to do is disclose that I do know Jill and Jordy. They have come to several Three Lakes Council meetings, and I've talked with them. I don't believe that that in any way will influence my ability to be a judge, but I just wanted to disclose that to everybody so you know.
Good evening, Bob Edwards, Professional Architects, for Jill and Jordy, right over here. This is actually a second time around for this application. The owners of the property back in 2021 proposed a, my glasses here, proposed a garage, an office above, removed the existing garage and shed, and we went to your board. You referred it ultimately to Jan for administrative review. However, when we went to the zoning board, which we needed two variances, one for side yard setback and one for area of an accessory building, there was some pushback from the neighbors. So at that point, the owners withdrew the application and sold the property to the current owners. So in considering the owner's point of view, we have made a new application for basically the same thing. It's a two-car garage with an office above. However, we made it about 4 feet smaller in width. We went from 28 down to 24 feet. So the proposed garage is 24 by 24. It's got a 21 by 22 office above. And we designed this to be a low slope roof. It's really a story and a half the way we've designed it. So it's got two dormers to add some windows on the second floor. But we met with the owners. Many of you know the owner. It's Ed and Gail Delaney. That has since passed, as you may be aware. But I met with him about a week prior to that. And he said what his concerns were primarily was that he didn't want to see the windows from his house. And he wanted to move it a little bit further away from the property line. Now, on the site, most of the site is wetlands. This is a house. This is a small view here, but I'll show you a larger view. But I wanted to get you overall so that you can see the extent of the wetlands. This blue hatched area is the extent of the wetlands on the property. This is the existing house. The existing garage and shed are in orange here. The septic tanks are here, and there's a pump system that comes up to an existing SSDS system in the expansion area up near the road. Now, there's a dirt road that runs at this point, but the driveway is macadam. So our proposal at the time was to go about 12 feet away from the property line and then square it up to the property line. But that would mean that the second floor windows, which are in this elevation here, would be viewable from the house. So what we've done is we've drawn a center line from their existing house, and we've made this perpendicular to that line so that no windows are visible. There's also no windows on that close side of the property. Now, we went through the zoning with the previous building inspector and the current building inspector. Their opinions changed slightly. The original building inspector said that the line went around the house, and that area was the only R1 area. However, now we're considering the entire property as an R1 as opposed to a quarter acre of property. So with that comes a 30-foot side yard setback. So because there's an existing swale that runs right here, very close to that garage, which caused the garage to fall apart, effectively, so it runs down into this culvert that runs under here and into a stream that runs out into the lake. So we really can't go anywhere beyond that. There's very little place we can put this garage. We moved it around as much as we could. There's a tree right here, and we're only about 22 feet in front of that tree. So getting out of that one garage bay is going to be a trick. The owners know that, and they said, well, that's okay with us as long as one is a little bit more accessible, we can do that.
So you're going to enter
enter the garage from this
That
side
way.
here.
And the tree is right there, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, again, they're probably gonna have to turn out this way and then come around. But I don't think they're gonna be able to get back here with that tree there. I think it's gonna be just very, very close to do that. But they're okay, because there's a two-car garage, and they said one's gonna be for storage anyway.
Okay,
So, they're comfortable with it, and we've talked extensively about that. So, the other concern that the neighbor has is having some screening on the side. Now, we had previously proposed some 4 to 5 foot arborvitaes along that property line. However, in more recent discussions, we've taken those up to 8 foot by 10 foot. And we're mixing in some spruce and some white pine to break up that green wall. We don't really want that green wall effect. We want it a little more natural. So adding in a couple of spruce trees, white pine, along with those arborvitaes, which grow very quickly. The spruce grows quickly, white pine, it grows quickly as well. So at 8 to 10 feet, we're really covering most of what you can see of the current garage and
Yep.
shed. So anything that we're building above that is what you can envision when those trees get put in. But 2 or 3 years down the road, you're not going to see any of this building from any of the neighbors on this side of the property. So that's basically the proposal, is going back to that original plan of having a 2-car garage with an office above. There's a total reduction of impervious surfaces. We're removing a little bit of asphalt as well. Then to take care, right now there's no drainage collection off of the existing roof of that garage or the shed. But we are proposing to collect that water and take it to a bioretention basin behind the building. And again, that will then drain slowly back into that same swale, and then in the culvert back into the stream, ultimately ending up at the lake. So we are collecting that. We're also proposing some wetland plantings in and around this area. There's about 3,000 square feet of area. So we'll have wetland plantings in there to provide our mitigation. That's basically our proposal at this point. I can show you the elevations if you're interested. As I said, we kind of designed it as a story and a half. And again, the windows will be on the front and the back, but again, those aren't facing the immediate neighbors. The garage doors are again facing that tree and facing the water actually. We are having an outside stair up to the 2nd floor, but again, no windows. We also have a man door going in down below, but again, no windows on that side, no
Yep.
lights either.
which is the south side, so that's the one where you'd get light. Okay. I hadn't thought about this before, but, and while these owners might be very happy backing around the tree, I'm a little bit concerned that 10, 20, whatever years from now, when the next person buys it, they're going to say, this is bad, and cut down the tree. Is it something that, I know you pushed, and I'm also, knowing that you push things closer to that sort of stream in order to get away from the property edge, I'm almost wondering could it slide back a little, and would that give you the ability to avoid the tree a little bit? I just, until you mentioned that, I had no.
This is a larger scale
Yeah.
here.
Oh, the trees, yeah.
Yeah, that the requirements for side yard setbacks is 30
Right.
feet. So what we did is we took actually the center of the building, right there, center of that wall, that's 30 feet.
Okay,
So, yes, we need a variance. We know we need the
Okay.
variance because it's closer. But we did our best to maintain that.
Side yard
Respect
variance.
the code and say,
Right.
The average wall anyway is 30 feet away. So that's how we determine that. We're trying to work with the neighbors. It was
Yeah,
a
no,
number
I
of
understand.
Zoning board
I think
meeting
you've
the other
done
day. And we're voicing concern about this.
Right.
So we're trying very hard to be good neighbors to these people.
yep.
your point, I understand the neighbors are important, but I don't see how much you're almost providing less exposure to them by rotating it perpendicular, like parallel to the property line, getting your full back out. And then they're seeing the side of stairs, you have full screening anyway. I mean, the same volume of building is going to be there no matter what. Whether you're on a 45 or you're on parallel to the side of the house, you're actually probably seeing slightly more from
Yeah,
there.
and their concern was the windows.
But you have no windows on that side, you're
We
saying?
have no windows on the side. Right.
So,
So if you rotated the building back, you could get around the tree a little bit easier. I
Yep.
mean, I think you've gone above and beyond what you need to for your neighbors, with all respect to neighbors, because
agreed.
I live here too. But,
Bill lives to God's ears.
but, you know, if you rotated it back, you'd have easier access in and out, and you're putting a screen there anyway.
Yes, we are.
I think you can get a compromise that's a little bit better for them
See,
as
if
far
we-
as
if we-
access.
If we tilt that though, there are windows on this side, so if we tilt that, we're afraid this is their living room, I think, is right there. Afraid from that living room they can
But it's
catch
an
things.
it's an office. You're in there in the daytime. Who's in their living room in the daytime?
Yeah, but zoning board has said no.
Yeah,
Did
the-
they
Yeah.
actually, did the zoning board?
That was the issue with the zoning board, was it not?
The zoning board did not
No, they did not.
voice a concern about the windows being visible to the neighbors.
I mean,
But,
the neighbor voiced
who
it.
of us doesn't have
But
windows
it was the
visible to your
neighbor who
neighbors?
said-
Right.
You know,
Yeah, but
like I said, I think by putting up all the greenery that you're doing, that's already,
Although I don't want to give them a catch-22 where they go, because they have to go to the zoning board. I don't want to say, well, we've made them change it, and then they go to the zoning
Yeah.
board, and then the neighbor complains again. So I understand this. I just don't, Sally, it looked like,
I think your plan makes a lot of sense. I have just one recommendation, because I've personally been through this, and I know a lot of other people that have as well, when putting in screening. Even though they say green giant arborvitaes are deer-proof, they're not, so just
Correct.
be prepared that they need to be fenced. That's just a
Right, right.
are
caution.
you
Right,
saying
right.
we don't have fussy deer around here?
We have-
They will eat them. I have popsicle stick, 10-foot
Right.
popsicle sticks.
Bruce,
What is the tree that we're talking about?
what is the tree
What's
that we're talking about?
Species.
It's
It's a maple, I think it's a 12-inch maple, if I remember right.
12 inches in
Yeah,
that.
12-inch caliper maple.
It's in an island, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in an island. Yeah, that really helps to see it there. It's not like it's right in front of the door, it's just a little awkward,
It's awkward.
it's awkward, it's,
Yeah, but it's not, it's in a landscape island.
yeah.
I actually talked with the owners, do we make that island smaller? They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to take any more of that away. Again, more impervious. They
Right.
felt as long as they could get out of one bay, they're very happy.
Yeah, it's
Again,
just,
I won't say you can't get out of it.
Right.
In 22 feet, let's face it.
No, no,
You can get out, you
I'm-
might have to do a 3-point turn if you've got a long car, but
Depends on what kind of car they have.
it doesn't look,
Terrible.
they've got
Right,
your
right.
truck over there, you can take a 5-point turn.
yeah, get a smart car. Okay, well, sorry, so I know I'm focused on that, but I hadn't really thought about the tree and that, and I am worried, you know, we have people that come in and say, "Ah, I'm cutting trees," and they don't think about it until later, what they've really kind of lost.
But if we recommend, you know, our opinion would be to rotate it back a little bit for access and usage, to whatever degree you can do it at, do you really think the zoning board is, do you have to go back to the zoning board? at this
They
point?
do, they have to go because of the
But
setback.
then with our recommendation or write-up of saying rotate it back,
They never got the variance, so they.
No, we didn't get the variance the first time.
We did.
I'm sorry?
I thought you said you withdrew the application.
We did not get the variance the first time we went through.
Right.
We made an
Because-
application at the last meeting, and they've held it over to the next meeting.
Oh, I didn't
Oh, so
understand
you-
you've already been there with this
I'm sorry.
particular application.
Right.
did they give you a reason why you didn't get the variance?
No, again, they didn't deny us.
It was never
Oh,
denied.
oh,
Yeah, it
okay,
wasn't
well,
denied,
they
it was
didn't-
just
Okay,
withdrawn.
got it, they just held it.
They
Right.
just
Okay.
Did the neighbor come out at that time?
At the last meeting?
At the ZBA meeting, yeah?
Yes.
Was there public interaction there?
Yes, there was probably 6 neighbors, I believe, that
And they saw the rotated house, or the rotated garage?
they showed it as we're proposing it now, yes.
What were their concerns there?
The visibility. Some of the-
They're supposed to
some of the
look towards the
concerns
lake. Tell them they look towards the lake, not towards somebody's, all right, but, all right, so that's one issue. I also, so I am familiar with this property from 2009 when, if you show the bigger version of it, the traveled way that you show there, I had, there had been an invasive plant. We cleared 1.7 acres of every weed out of that and took it up that traveled way and put it on the neighbors up the way lawn, which was, they were building the house at the time, and they said, put the weeds here, and they died down, and we trucked them off. But as a result of all that, I know that sort of there's sometimes some erosion from the road that comes down and allows, it goes through like a pipe and there's sometimes dirt entering this was in 2009, so it was a while ago, entering the wetland. So I'm wondering if you're a little, no, up at the top.
Off the dirt road, you're saying?
Yeah, off the dirt road, and
I
then
don't show
right
it.
about there, yeah, there's a pipe that goes under the road.
Yeah,
And
okay.
so I'm wondering, since you're a little short on mitigation, maybe a little retention right at the top there that would trap some of the dirt before it comes down and gets into the wetland? And if that's possible, that would be I think, a big benefit to the, stopping some of that, it's basically item 4, whatever they put on the road,
Yeah.
from coming down.
You also had recommended that one of the inlets have a sump in it, the proposed inlet.
Yes.
So catch some of
That
that.
makes sense.
Yeah, so say your name and come on up.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jill Cowell. I'm co-owner with my husband, Jordy Sarah, of this proposed change. So I think in respect to, if it's the same spot, you know the property probably better than us.
Only that one road.
So that area, the town has dug out a retention pond.
Oh,
It's right at the front there. I think it's the same spot, just off the dirt road, behind the wood slotted fence.
Yeah, no, I think I was going a little bit more towards the north. Yeah, that's right there, yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about over here?
I'm talking about right there, yeah, because it comes down, I don't know. I mean, but I would, you have
We can investigate.
You have qualified people, and
Provide
if that,
some information. It's not done.
or maybe, so one of the questions is, well, obviously, you've already been to the zoning board, but we would normally refer this to the building inspector, and I guess we should do that, just for,
Well, I think they're.
Building inspectors made a
Yeah,
determination.
they're waiting to go back to zoning.
right. Do you need to look at this for, I don't think they're changing bedroom count or anything, but do you need to look?
The only reason we would go back and review it is they decide to move location and the distances change and we would have to
Yeah,
out to the public saying, instead of 14 feet, it's 10 feet, if you rotate it and change the distance.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we would have to do
We
that.
increased it, but I don't think
But
it
I'm
decreased
just,
it.
no,
We
I'm
would
saying,
have to
if you
notice.
decide to move the garage.
yeah.
Let's say the ZBA gives them the variance that they,
Okay.
and they come here and we would like it turned a bit.
I would, counsel, if it's less of an impact, probably not a problem. If it's more of an impact, probably go back again to
They'd
zoning.
have to go back to the ZBA.
It would be a bigger.
Yeah.
it would be a bigger
Even if the
variance.
variance is the same,
There'd be more of the building
I
and
think
setback.
you're going to have more of the building
Yeah,
into the setback.
yeah.
would that,
With
I
that,
suspect so,
Yeah.
yes.
I think that's what happened. I agree, that's what would happen, so. Okay, so that answers the referral to the building inspector. I didn't realize it had been already there. What about, do you guys want to take a site walk and look at this? It's a,
It's been a long time, but I remember.
right, it's a little,
Yeah.
it's a wet area, you know, but the current garage, well, I shouldn't say that. In 2009, the garage wasn't in fabulous shape. So I don't know what it is now, but yes, I think these things don't get better over time. So we generally have a site walk, though.
I do have one other question.
Oh, go ahead.
And
We have a lot more.
This is a technical one. Being, you know, we usually judge septic related to bedrooms. Being that there's a powder room being added, which I don't believe was in the 2009 application.
The 2021 it was.
21.
21?
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember when it was at that point. Okay, whether that affected was related to bedroom count or not. So I'm just bringing that up because I didn't know. If it was in the 21 application and it didn't raise anything, then I wouldn't say a thing.
Right, and that's really a DOH call, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then if you were already through in 21,
But it-
not an issue.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify the last application, because I had thought when we had spoken a couple of weeks ago about that, what I had remembered, which is, you know, not always the best these days, I had thought that the planning board had referred this to administrative review.
Yes.
It turns out we went back through the minutes, and that wasn't the case. Is that correct? So I had remembered it
I
incorrectly.
have a bad memory then, because I was sure they sent it for administrative review.
Yeah, and
I
couldn't-
apologize if I've misled you.
Yeah, I thought so too, but we read through the minutes. There was extensive comments by the board. We had a memo that I couldn't see that was addressed. So it doesn't look like it got that far.
Okay, and I apologize.
No, I apologize.
I said it from memory, quite frankly. I didn't check it. but-
You know,
I was sure.
I was sure as well.
yeah, I mean,
It was Zoom time.
Yeah.
right,
It was COVID days.
yeah.
Going back to John's recommendation that you came to the planning board and we somewhat sort of recommended that the building be moved a little bit or rotated, and that is our preference. Can they then present it to the zoning board as something that's our preference?
It's more functional for
Yeah, I mean,
the property owners.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, you're rotating a whole building.
They'd have to present a revised plan to Kevin. He could then identify what degree of variance is required, and
Okay.
the zoning board could pick it up from there, but I think that could be done.
Okay, well, then it's up to the homeowner.
Yeah, then it's up to
whether
the
they want to do that or
homeowner.
not.
well, it's whether they want to do this or not.
I think if it's more onerous, it would
Yeah, I
have to
think
be,
you're
if
gonna
it
have
was
to-
less, that's what I was saying earlier, then no.
But if it's approved per the plans that are submitted,
But nothing,
Then
they need
it-
a variance regardless. They need a variance for side yard, whether we rotate it or don't rotate it, and they need a variance for sheer bulk of the building.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
The size,
no
right,
matter
the
what.
square foot.
Yeah.
It looked like you had something to say.
Yes, hi. So from Jordy, thank you very much for hearing our personal situation. From our perspective, we waited for a really long time to do this garage. 1 more month, 2 more months is not going to make a big difference. Our neighbor, who we respect and hope to enjoy many years of a relationship, is really anxious about this, rightly or wrongly. We know we're going to screen it. We shared renderings with her. She's a recent widow. We really just want to have her feel comfortable. So with respect to the tree, I happen to be a botanist. I love nature. That's why we're here. We want to try to preserve it. If it becomes a big nuisance, then I think we would find a way around it and mega plant to make up for it. So that's just sort of, if I could just share that. personal.
Ultimately, it's your call.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if-
understood, we
if-
were trying too hard.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And-
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing that. All right, so if we want to have a site walk, we typically go the Saturday before our next planning board meeting. Our next planning board meeting, I'm just confirming this,
Do we need a
is October 21st, so what?
Do we need a sidewalk?
I think it would be good. I mean, just, so I'm now interested in finding out what the town is actually doing up in the other spot, that other retention thing, and seeing maybe if the road is as, it was, I personally carried gravel down that driveway. Anyway, so to put on that way, yards and yards. All right, so anyway, it would be Saturday, the 18th of October, if people want to go. I know Bruce expressed an interest.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So would that be possible? We don't need to, you don't need to be there, we just need to come. It would be really helpful if you kind of said, here's where the garage is going to be. And, I know there's asphalt, but maybe a spray paint if you can't get
We've got some lines
just
down there.
something in, yeah.
Yeah.
and-
You stake it, right?
Well, if it's an asphalt driveway, you have to, I don't know what you do.
Mistakes.
So, but we'll figure out where it is based on, you'll make it obvious, right? 9 o'clock, is that okay?
Sure.
Great.
We just do the center line. Yes, no? This is a driveway proposed, or does it exist?
Driveway exists.
Okay.
The driveway exists, there's actually an existing garage
Garage,
that's
right.
sort of
Squared off.
behind, yeah, so that little orange thing,
I think we have to see it.
yeah, I think it would be good to see.
So the existing garage is here. It's 21 by 20 feet, if I remember right.
Okay.
And there's a 8 by 8 shed sitting here next to it.
Okay.
Again, both are 1 story. And this is pretty much falling down. The walls are rotted all the way around the side, so
Okay.
if it's still up when you come.
The wind doesn't
you can
blow,
see
right?
it, but,
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I mean, it's as I recall, it's a pretty gorgeous wetland. So it's really, nice to try to preserve it as much as you can. Okay, so we're set for Saturday, the 18th of October. You do have some work to, answer the comments. And I guess the only thing that maybe, if you do want to look at using that traveled way, I'm assuming that easement doesn't stop you from doing anything there to put
Maintain your property usually.
Yeah.
including these pieces.
Yeah. FEMA flood plan, yeah, okay. And I don't, so I think at this point, we should probably if the owners like it that way and they think that keeps the neighbor happier. The other thing is that it's good to know that there were a lot of neighbors there, because that might influence our decision about whether we feel we need to have a public hearing. If the neighbors are already aware of it and they've already been there, that might reduce our concerns about letting the neighbors know, so.
Yeah, they didn't seem concerned about the wetlands. I don't think we heard one comment about that.
Darn it, I've got to do a better job at teaching the neighbors about wetlands. Okay, so Kirsten, I guess the only question I would have is when you issue public notices to if we did a public hearing and if ZBA does their notices, is it the same universe of people, or if we had a public hearing, would it be more?
ZBA is always 250 feet. Planning board changes depending on the zoning district.
Okay,
It might be the same, I can't answer.
All right, so if you can find out for the next meeting, that would be helpful too.
Do you have a question?
So for our walk, you will stake out the proposed for the garage so we know exactly where this is?
It's staked now, yes.
Okay. For
Oh, the ZBA has been there.
And you've gotten as far as you have with the ZBA? Meaning that something that they've expressed that would be acceptable to them?
They haven't voted yet.
They haven't voted, but they've seen this, right?
Yes,
And it's ready to be voted on, is that correct?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so
So
as
it'd
long
be
as
good
we're
if they
looking
could
at
go
the
in
same
with our
thing that
approval.
is
That would help.
the most recent, so.
They're actually coming
And-
this Saturday. It's donuts and coffee, every Saturday.
Somebody showing up at your place every Saturday. Great.
Right.
I just want to make sure, so right now, this is a wetlands application. So we're not looking
Yes.
at this from a planning perspective. and-
From a site plan.
From a site plan.
It's a
It's
A
wetlands only.
wetlands only.
wetlands only, but it's,
Yeah.
it,
But
Yeah.
by rotating the garage, you're on that wetland flag. I don't know how you construct this without going in the wetland.
Well, we're about 4 feet away from the swale.
No, but I'm looking at, there's not a number on it, but I have it highlighted here. The edge of the building is kissing the wetland flag.
Yeah, it is.
So that, you can't construct that without going into the wetland. I think you have to provide some,
You can't demolish the building then either.
the building isn't in the wetland.
the old
existing-
garage.
No, it's not,
Not according to the flag.
not according to this. There's a much larger buffer around the existing garage than the proposed.
How does that work? Because we're pulling it closer to the house if we,
You're right, we're right on. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
the,
you're right. So, I mean, from a
Oh, I
wetlands
see.
perspective, it would be better rotated the other way. Or try to keep, why aren't you trying to build it exactly where the other garage is?
Again, we got
The windows.
feedback from the neighbors, that they were unhappy with that.
But there's no windows on that side.
Again, they could see the windows, if you rotate that building around, you could still see the windows. They also were concerned about the distance to the property line.
Yeah.
You are
Trying to
really
please
good
everyone.
neighbors, I gotta tell you.
And I don't want to tell you what to do, but I would strongly consider trying to reconstruct the existing dwelling.
Garage.
Garage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where it is exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking, I hadn't noticed that flag, but it is, it's right on the flag.
If it's already there, we could have a conversation about whether it needs to go back to zoning or not, if it's a repair.
Well, really, the water is in the swale. The swale is about 2 foot, 2 foot 6 deep at that point.
But
So-
that's a swale, that's different than a wetland. The wetland is right up to the building.
But,
You
And
can-
that wasn't the case with the prior application, because it was rotated the other way.
yes.
Will you make a note in your memo to either get a certification that the wetlands flagging is?
We did, we asked
Yeah,
for,
so
because the
and I
wetland
think-
flagging is old at this point.
Right, so I think that's crucial to just know that information, otherwise we get it reflagged before we go out and see it again.
Yeah, I think there have been some mention of different ways of doing this, and I think there should be an offline conversation with the building official.
Yeah, but I think so I now have a little more concern that you're actually in that wetland.
one problem with the existing, the current frame doesn't permit today's cars to get in. It's, you really have to hold in your breath.
Right.
To get in and close the mirrors before you go in.
What is the actual footprint of that garage, the existing one?
20 by 20, approximately, 21 by 20.
And the proposed?
So, I mean, you could do 9 doors
Well,
you could. I mean,
I mean,
I'm trying to
The
make this clear
foundation,
for you.
yeah,
there's no
the,
foundation under that at this
No,
point.
you would have to put a foundation, because you want to get a.
There's no
buffer for it.
foundation currently, it's just a slab on grade with a building put on it. The slab is cracked.
right. So I
You wouldn't even
know,
call it a slab.
right. The other thing, so maybe, I know we're all trying to solve things, but what I would maybe ask the neighbor is that if you kept to the current angle, but moved it like 2 feet closer to the property line, I know you have to go get a ZBA
Anyway,
anyway, that would maybe get it out of the wetland, but it
also would help with the tree.
I mean, it's like telling, so the windows aren't there, you're gonna have the screening, and if the choice is either to angle it and they see the windows, or leave it but pull it just a little bit,
So
Right.
pull this more.
No, no.
this
I was
way.
gonna
That
say
way.
more that way, more,
That
Right, away
that
from the
way.
wetlands.
yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Would you have a
Or-
problem with tandem parking cars inside a garage? Is it possible to do the garage longer? Keep the same footprint and make it longer?
We're really flexible. So,
yeah,
I think the
but,
office becomes
That you
very
understand
spacious.
our concern.
but the often.
The development is on the wetlands, basically. So our concern is looking at alternatives. We understand your constraint with your neighbor of how to bring this further away from the wetlands. All the, not just the physical building, the development to get in, because right now looking, your line doesn't show well. I see you have the wetlands loop around, but I don't see that flag on the map of the one all the way to the right. It looks like the rain garden goes right through the wetlands.
I can put my pen on it if you want.
The wetlands could be shown clearer.
Yeah, so,
Can you see that, Mark?
yeah, no, I was actually
That's-
looking where the rain garden is. I just don't see that flag on your map. And it
wraps
could
around
be,
here.
like, where it bows all the way out. I just
And then
don't
it comes back
see
around
that
here.
flag out there.
yeah, because
Just
that's,
as around the swale.
yeah,
That's all
that's,
that they're calling out here.
it's kind of a
In fact,
swale, but
Ed
it's
Delaney
actually
told me
almost
he
a
dug that
stream.
swale.
Yeah,
So, it's a disturbed area.
yeah, it's kind of almost, when it's really wet, it's kind of wet in there. It's a, you know, right?
Yeah, the bottom of the swale, you can
Right.
see water in there, but,
So, yeah, because you can't construct it without actually stomping around in the wetland, I would say if you could move it a little bit closer to the neighbor's house, and I know that's bad, but you would keep the windows not, you know, if you left it at the
Well, they
current
can solve what they
orientation.
wanna do.
They can decide what they want to do.
We don't want you so close to
But
the
we just
wetlands.
can't, yeah, you can't, I don't know how you build. Jan's point is, I hadn't,
I hadn't noticed how close, that it was there, that it was right on the flag when I looked at it first time. It's right, it's on it.
it's on it.
think
And
that
I
gives
think our
you
codes,
A conversation, you could either tip the building, they may see the windows, or you can move it a little bit closer, and then you're out of the wetlands, you make the town happy, and she still doesn't see the windows.
I know it's tough, but I appreciate. So, we will go and see it in a couple of weeks. We will have a resubmission, presumably with some of the answers to some of Jan's questions about, you know, and I think you're right to ask for like the better sump and the better, that adds to mitigation. So even if it's not we typically look for one-to-one by area. So you're not hitting the one-to-one by area, but you're doing other things that I think we can then accept as,
well, we're actually very, very close.
You're very close.
One-to-one. I think we've got about 3,000 square foot of mitigation. I think it's 33 is disturbance or something like that. But I'm close with that. So it's not very much, you know, be a small adjustment.
And the rain garden can be counted because they're not triggering the threshold for a stormwater permit.
okay.
So
Yeah,
it
so
can-
don't do that.
Yeah, and we are reducing the impervious surface on the site as well.
Right,
Yeah.
that's good. Okay, anything else? Everything?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, yeah, this was, and I do appreciate all that you're trying to do to fit what the owners want into a very tight spot and paying attention to the neighbors. It's,
We felt that the swale was what's critical to hold. The little bit that's flagged off of that, I think it's probably done before the swale was there.
okay. Well, we'll see it a little bit. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
It's a tough site. Okay, the next item on our agenda is correspondence. This is calendar number 06-17PB, calendar number 43-23WP, calendar number 18-23SW. The Wolf Conservation Center, Buck Run, South Salem, New York. And this is, we have a resolution that granted the site development plan, and I understand there's some modest modifications that are needed. So with that.
So for the record, my name is Janet Garris. I'm happy to be here this evening on behalf of the Wolf Conservation Center. You have to forgive me, I had oral surgery this afternoon. I cannot feel my face. I hope I don't drool. But thank you so much for accommodating us. We hope to make an amended application for inclusion on your October agenda, but we wanted to take an opportunity to talk to you briefly about some minor modifications. So as you know, we were here, I think it was back in July, and we were asking for some additional time in connection with satisfaction of the conditions of the site plan approval. So two things I want to talk to you about this evening. And the first is that site plan approval and where things are. As you know, we have a number of outside permits from outside agencies, including DOT, DEC, DEP, and the Department of Health. And so we are working our way through the Department of Health in connection with the water and the public water supply. Matt Gironda joining me this evening from BIBO, our site architects. He has secured our septic approval from the Department of Health, but in order to do that, there were some minor modifications that were required to the site plan. He'll talk to you about the details of that. Essentially, what that resulted in was some additional grading and some additional site disturbance, which we believe that needs to be approved by this board. And because of the additional disturbance, it caused the overall disturbance to go over 5 acres, which now requires a phase plan. So he's prepared that as well, and he'll talk to you about that. So we hope to come before you next month with an application for you to consider those minor modifications. In addition to that, and I'll talk to you about the details, I'm totally stealing his thunder, about some changes to the composting toilet being eliminated and replacing that with a conventional toilet, and that's all in connection with the Department of Health and the septic modifications. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you is, as you know, we also have subdivision approval, which is currently pending. There are certain conditions to that subdivision approval which are need to be fulfilled prior to us being able to get that subdivision plat signed and filed in the Office of the Westchester County Clerk, Division of Land Records. All of the signatures are on that plat except for planning board chairs and the receiver of taxes, which is typically the last thing because we don't want that to get stale. We have a Department of Health approval on that plat, which we got in November last year. We would like to try to get that plat filed before that signature gets stale, and we have to get it back before the Department of Health with the same plat for resignature. And, so there are 2 conditions of that subdivision approval, which we are hoping you'll amend to allow us to be able to file that plat. The first was that we have to get our site plan, special permit, other permits from the town, but in addition, that condition of approval required all of the other outside permits to be finished and completed. We hope that we are almost there, but I'm not sure that that's going to be done before November. And the second condition was that the site plan had to be signed simultaneously with the subdivision. So what we're hoping is our application to you will be a request to amend those 2 conditions of approval, to eliminate them, to allow us to be able to file the plat. That will also allow us to not come before you in next month in November. That plat will expire. We would need another 90-day extension. So thank you for accommodating us. I know that the hour is late. I'll introduce Matt and let him show you what those modifications are when we talk about coming back next month.
Okay, so let me sort of follow, maybe ask Matt to hold off for a second. So the subdivision approval, what are the other agencies that?
So what the condition says, the applicant shall obtain all necessary approvals from the planning board
and outside agencies associated with its applications for site development plans, special use permit, wetland permit, stormwater permit, as well as all outside agency approvals, including ACARC, Zoning Board, New York State DEC, New York State DOT, and Westchester County Department of Health.
So I think you have, are you missing DOT? What's missing?
Well, typically, we wouldn't,
Go to them,
right, so the
Until
DOT
after.
condition
right?
in the site plan approval is different, and you typically wouldn't get that until we're further along and, you know, we're ready to do the construction in the right-of-way.
Right.
So we've got that, and then we've got the Department of Health approvals.
Department of Health, okay. So, because I think this one's a little easier, we don't have to look at a map. I think if we want to agree to separate the site plan approval and the site subdivision approval, and we want to allow the subdivision approval without all of these other agency approvals, we need an amendment to the resolution just for that.
For the subdivision resolution, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I'm thinking about timing, so if we want to get that signed before November, we want to approve that,
For
and
the October meeting.
so if everybody agrees, we can ask for that amendment to the resolution to be prepared for next month,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that part.
Okay.
Now, tell us what the Department of Health has helped you design.
So, good evening, everyone. Matthew Gironda from Bibbo Associates, we're the project engineers. As Janet mentioned, as we were going through outside agency approvals, namely the Department of Health, they requested several things, which led to some of these plan changes. Namely, filing change of use applications for each individual structure. And when we did those change of use applications, it necessitated us to inspect and do an evaluation of the existing system serving what is now 4 Buck Run, which is the building that we will be using as the operations center, first building on the left on Buck Run. We had some preliminary discussions over the years with the Department of Health of reusing the existing system for the residents at 3 Buck Run to serve the education center. After maybe some change of personality or different personnel at the health department, they had a different opinion. And that being said, 4 Buck Run, when inspecting that septic system, was old. It was from the original construction of the home and needed some work. So we came to the determination with the health department that it only makes sense to put in a new septic system to the west in the backyard of 4 Buck Run that would serve the existing structure to be used as the operations office as well as the new education center. Okay. Abandon the existing septic system that served 3 Buck Run as well as the existing septic that served 4 Buck Run. This was previously an area of no disturbance. We had no disturbance back here. That was one change from the Department of Health. The other similar to 4 Buck Run, when we went through the process of filing change of use for what is now a single-family residence at 7 Buck Run, we exposed and investigated the existing septic from the original construction, not in very good shape. They would not allow us to repair it in its current location due to the proximity to an existing water course within 100 feet. So we were left with really only one option. Install a new septic area here, which we would then have to pump effluent from the existing structure at 7 Buck Run, which would be used as the administrative headquarters for the Wolf Center. Force main to new septic fields here.
The new septic field is higher or just distant?
It's higher.
It is higher.
It's higher, so we had to pump an elevation. And there's limited area on site where it's suitable slopes for septic areas.
Yeah.
In examining that, we have no force main running right by the toilet facility where there was previously a composting toilet. In discussions with the Wolf Center, we had 2 toilet stalls in the composting facility before, and the lower level was the actual composting infrastructure.
we thought it made more sense to provide 2 additional toilets now that we were installing a traditional septic and we were running a force main right along next to the building. So the lower level became 2 additional toilets. We eliminated the composting toilet from the proposed toilet building, went to traditional facilities, and we've received health department approval for both these septics. This also was an area of no disturbance. The project, as previously approved by the board, we were just under 5 acres of disturbance. So these 2 septic areas pushed us over. We already have a DEP stormwater SWIP approval, which we'll now have to amend, and which we're in the process of getting a package back to them for a phasing plan as we've exceeded 5 acres. Don't expect that there's going to be any issues, it's just simply documentation. And the phasing plan in general is phase 1 will be the construction of the education center, the bus parking lot, the stormwater management practices associated with the section of road to the entrance of the education center.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 2 will basically be from what is identified here as the match line up, which phase 2 is the remainder of the widening and repaving, resurfacing of the existing driveway. Once we get beyond the Buck Run right away, the construction of the yurts, toilet facilities, and septic serving the admin building. So it's really a 2-phase project, basically from south to north. And those really are the changes to the plan. It's no modifications to the program or use of the facility, just as we went through the Department of Health process, jumped through several hoops to get their approval, and this is where we ended up and pushed us over that threshold. So we had a conference call last week with Jan, Kevin, Judd, to discuss this, and we thought it best to apprise the
All right,
board.
so that helps. I mean, I think we'll talk more about it because you're going to actually submit this to us and we can see it all, but I think it helps to see that review. And so what you're doing with the toilet facility is having 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs?
That's correct, right?
That's correct. We have the ability to remove the composting equipment,
Right.
which allows us to add 2 toilets that are roughly, 5 by 8 in there. It also allows us an opportunity to create a secondary space for utilities, all the electrical, everything that is locked off from the pump, and a drinking fountain down below as well.
Okay.
Oh, Spencer Wilhelm, Director of Operations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The Spencer Wilhelm.
Right. Okay, yeah, I think, without seeing it, I mean, we can't really move forward on this at all, but we'll get the submission, we'll look at it, and then next month. But at least we can move ahead on the resolution for next month, right? Okay, is there anything else we should need to know?
Just to fill you in, you had mentioned the DOT. I actually met the local permit engineer from the DOT last week on site, reviewed the entrance plan with them. The permit application has been submitted. Based on my site walk with her, she didn't appear to have any objections. When the time is ready, we'll fill the permit with the necessary insurance and bonds.
Did the board want a resolution just on the subdivision, or
That,
to
yeah,
revise
or do
everything?
you want to have one for the phasing plan in anticipation
I would do both.
of, like, no issues? Just to look at, or...
Yeah, I mean, so I sort of, we haven't had it submitted, I guess. Do you have enough submitted to be able to write it? Or, I mean, I'm almost...
I have enough understanding to write it, and then we'll have the documentation, I think, in advance of me preparing the resolution, and if we need anything else, we can build into those conditions.
Yeah, so it would be, if we kind of look at this as minor changes, the major thing being the phasing, I'm trying to, we would, let's see, we've got a neg deck, which this doesn't.
What we discussed was the applicant's going to provide a short form EAF that covers the changes, and that the board would likely reaffirm its previous neg deck based on the short EAF.
And that submission will include some comparative analysis in terms of what was approved or what was proposed at the time of the neg deck and what is going to now result from the revised plan.
Okay. And Sally just left, so I can ask this. That's on tape. Sorry. The new septics, you said, are not disturbed. So are there a lot of trees going down in either one of those? I actually did.
Actually, no.
Okay.
This area there's really no trees. There might be one additional tree impacted by the septic fields on the north side of the property, but
If anything, it's very minor. It's not like you're having to clear
no. Yes.
30 trees or anything. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Matt, when you said Board of Health was changing the terminology with regard to use?
So the Board of Health, as you're all aware, currently this property is developed and exists as multiple single-family residences. And when we applied to the Department of Health, originally it was a change of use application for strictly 3 Buck Run, the existing system to continue to be utilized to serve the education center. Change of use from the residential to the commercial facility. We had some preliminary actually they issued comments several years ago, really no objection to it. Department of Health issued a new code recently, I believe it was, can't remember the year, but fairly recently, where they changed a couple things about steep slopes, which impacted the use of this system.
As an education?
Yes, 3 Buck Run. So, along with this change of use, as we approached the Department of Health earlier this year, they requested that we file change of use applications for every building, even though there was no intended development to 4 Buck Run or 7 Buck Run. They were going to continue to utilize the existing system, and there was a drastic reduction in design flows going from a single-family residence to several employees being in there. As a part of that change of use process for those structures, we were required to investigate and inspect the existing septic systems that serve those dwellings, as they're being converted from a single-family residential use to accessory to a private nature preserve, or in the eyes of the health department, a commercial use.
Okay. I'm
that's
asking,
how we.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No.
I'm asking just from the standpoint of, has the Board of Health injected some terminology which is inconsistent with our zoning?
No.
And somebody says something like,
No.
hey, no.
No.
Okay, fine, that's it, done.
Okay.
I just wanted to,
Just a lot of.
yeah, okay, I get it.
Red tape.
Does
Yeah.
DOH have anything else to say?
About this particular application, or a lot of others?
Please. Well, okay, so that's another reason to keep moving, right?
Yeah, let's
All right,
get into
so,
resolutions.
My only concern with writing a separate resolution for this now is this isn't a formal application, and I know we want to move things along with them, and I'm not against it, but just from a procedure with other applications and other residents, are we doing something that we don't typically do by giving them a resolution before we've technically seen an application? We don't ever do that for
so
anyone else if we met.
we have upon occasion said, show us the new, we understand that you're going to do some stuff, we don't have it, we're writing a resolution. We've done resolutions that, we have a public hearing, but we also have a resolution, even though we might hear something in the public hearing that, you have something to look at, you're not adopting it,
I mean, you're not committing yourself to
No, I understand. I'm just
I
more
think
of a,
it's
I'm
also,
fine with
you
it.
know,
Yeah, I
It's
think-
more of a process
No,
than
I think
other applications.
it's a wise caution to think about what precedent this sets, but I think we've done
And I know it's
similar
amended.
things,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's amended,
It's an amendment.
and I think we're gonna just have them amended by letter, or we're gonna have them resubmit application forms, since it's a pending, ongoing application. So I think it can work. If they hadn't submitted, it was a new application that we just got them on for discussion, they hadn't submitted an application yet, that may be like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm fine. I just want
Yeah,
to
I
make sure
think
we're
we've done it before
good for all the
because of DOH
Yeah,
issues.
I mean, I think we've, yeah,
You know, and it's, DOH is notoriously,
No, we-
challenging,
that's a good word.
challenging. Okay, so I think we have it set. Obviously, you know the submission date. It looks like you have plans that we can get to us. Okay, so, great, thank you.
We look forward to seeing you in October.
Yes, and you're more articulate with dental surgery than I am, you know, and just stumbling along in regular life. Yeah, I know.
Just starting to wear off.
Okay.
Oh, you
Oh, no.
definitely want to go.
You know, I want to go take something. I feel it.
Right.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
So much.
Okay, we'll see you next month.
Appreciate the accommodation and certainly the cooperation, so we look forward to seeing you next month.
Okay, and, you know, no more dental surgery, we hope. Okay, thanks. Good night. The next item on our agenda is discussion. Somers, New York intends to amend its town code to include solar energy and a notice of intent to declare itself lead agency to review those code changes, which are basically a solar energy local law. It looks like they're changing the law about putting solar on roof and solar, major solar, is it ground installations. So for us,
You want a motion that you can write a letter?
right, saying that we have no comment?
here.
Yes, I'd like that
I'll
motion.
make a motion.
All right,
I'll second.
a second.
They're
Just
allowed,
change your code. I had my first submission yesterday for somebody who wants to do it
Here.
in their front yard, and I need to now go through that with a fine tooth comb.
does Somers have the areas that it's allowed in near our border? I think they have,
I'm not
are they,
sure.
are there areas,
I don't think they,
they don't,
Do they border us? Is that the question?
no, do they delineate the areas that this can be done, like the solar?
no, but they say no more than 17 acres, so
I didn't read the code.
Right,
it's
right.
not huge. I don't,
And are, do we know of any properties that border us? I mean, that's,
I don't know.
but we really can't do anything about it anyway.
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
Well, that's my,
Is it just a,
okay, so
Okay.
we had a motion, we had a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. It just so happens I have a letter.
we just proved that I'm sending a letter saying,
Wait, you're saying
We're very efficient.
Cree did something weird?
Okay, so
but we don't have anything to do.
I'd look for a motion to approve the minutes of August 19th, 2025,
I so moved.
and seconded by Bruce. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, our next meeting date is October 21st, 2025, and just a reminder, we have now set a site walk that Saturday before that, which is the 18th of October. I'd look for a motion to adjourn our meeting at, there's no clock up there, 8:44,
I so moved.
and seconded by Bruce. Any further discussion? All in favor? Have a good night. And do we need to
What do we have to read?
change the room around?
Oh, yes, please.